Hi everyone, it's me Lina again. Welcome to my YouTube channel and thank you a lot for checking my videos out. And today in this video I would like to make a review on TV series called Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. I recently watched it on Netflix and I am actually quite impressed by it. By the way, this video is for people who already watched this show, or rather those who are familiar with the case itself, because maybe I'm gonna say some things that gonna spoil it for you, meaning the watching of TV series. So Gota says that in general this case, Elisa Lam's case, is very bizarre, strange, situation is sad, and I definitely feel sorry for her. She was way too young and also very interesting, in my opinion, person too. But back to the show. I think that it was really nicely made and created. They actually gave us so many different facts, information too, from police and other people. But there is scene I don't like. It is way too long in my opinion. They definitely were aiming to make it like that, so I'm certain it was their aim. Maybe it was all about the atmosphere they wanted to sort of show us and so on. They even tried to involve people who were not directly related to the case, which just made the show more interesting in my opinion, but still way too long. And also there is definitely another thing that I totally disliked. It's how they made us so confused. In the beginning of the show they told us that, you know, the behavior of Elisa wasn't usual, and in the end, in the last episode I believe, they said things like, oh, you know, Elisa's sister told us that sometimes she would act like that without medications or before medications, something like that, meaning like before they actually, before Elisa started to take those medications, maybe something like that. So what exactly it is? I think it is a very bizarre trick to do. It's something that YouTubers would do, and I find it sort of unprofessional in some way. Why would you tell us this and then totally opposite thing? Obviously they did it to make it, again, more interesting, you know, engaging maybe, and just, well, intriguing, you know. That's interesting, but I'm not sure I liked it. So honestly, if you want to know my theory, what I was thinking when I first heard about the case, I thought that someone tricked her into jumping in that water tank. That was my theory. Like tricked, manipulated, you know, someone who wanted maybe to watch it, had some sort of violent, you know, I'm not sure, someone who liked to watch maybe her struggle or something. That was my theory. But obviously now we know what happened, or I think that it's very easy to solve it yourself now, even if you still sort of have some sort of, you know, thoughts that maybe it's not exactly, you know, maybe some people still think that it was like a crime, but I think that it was sort of accident. Actually Elisa, I think, did it herself. She wasn't planning, I don't think, to like die or like to commit suicide, but she actually jumped in that tank herself. Knowing her mental state at that day, it was quite obvious, I thought. Very sad, and she was very interesting, in some way very bright person, so it's always very sad to know that young life just ended like that, and also in such a bizarre situation. And I don't think that death was exactly, well, I think it was just very something you just don't want to know about, you know. But there are so many other things that I would like to talk about. For example, there were so many crazy theories, but I think that, you know, the fact that so many YouTubers apparently made video about this case, and they thought that they can solve it themselves. I think it is incredibly self-sure and just bizarre, because honestly I think police know better. I actually think that. If only unless you actually think that police is involved, that they are hiding, covering up or anything like that, then I suppose I can believe in that, if you would tell me that you think that police is involved. But why would you think that you are better than detective who has experience, who knows, all those, crimes? I mean, they have experience, they do it, it's their job. I mean, come on. I think it is bizarre, honestly. So yeah, I didn't like that part. It was like so strange to hear and so on. Definitely. Also, I didn't like how people from internet, let's say, almost destroyed the life of that guy, the musician, even though I think his art is, well, way too odd for me and so on. Some of his videos were just too brutal in some way, or tried to look like. But I think it is so silly to try to, spam and, ruin his life without knowing the truth. I mean, obviously him wearing all those makeup and so on and other things makes him even more fragile maybe, and just, I'm certain he's not as strong person as he thought he was and so on. So it's very cruel of people to blame him without having, any proofs and so on. It is not right. I think it's just bizarre. I feel sorry for the couple from England. I think that they had horrible, experience, and I would be traumatized too. They said they were drinking that water, they were using it. I feel sorry for them. Yes, it's just so bizarre. Also, I think that manager, when she heard, or someone else actually, if it wasn't exactly her even, when she heard that two other ladies from that room were complaining about Elisa, they should, first of all, they should have done something, because her behavior wasn't normal, was way far from being normal. She actually been, putting those little stickers on someone's bed. It's not okay. Someone should have done something, come on. So I don't want to really say it, but first of all, Elisa shouldn't have traveled alone. Obviously, she shouldn't have been trusted with taking medications in time, as we know now. People might say things like, oh, people are, they can take care of themselves. If they have a little depression, this, that, they can take care. Apparently, no. I mean, I don't want to be like rude or anything, but from this case, we learn how much some people can be trusted. I think she required help, and she obviously could live a normal life. I'm certain she was interesting person who could definitely live a normal life, but she needed a little bit of supervising. I mean, obviously she couldn't be trusted with taking medications. So, I mean, I don't want to sound, way too judgy, but it's apparently, the only way, the only right way. I'm not saying that family did something wrong, but, I'm not sure. They shouldn't have just let her go like that. It's not about her being young, it's about her having depressions, or, well, she was taking medications, some serious ones apparently. It's not exactly typical, usual young adult. So I don't like when people, keep saying it, she was usual, blah blah. Obviously there was something she was suffering from and it was very difficult for her. She thought that she can do it, but obviously she couldn't. So maybe it's a bit too much to say, but it's just my opinion. Yeah. Also, manager, I'm not saying she did like something wrong, but she could have, I'm not sure, question it more, her behavior, Elisa's. Also, the story about Elisa's name matching some the scenes, it was very interesting, rather entertaining and in some way fun. Because, I mean, it's not fun. All this case is very sad, frustrating, and just makes you think about how life is so fragile and so on. But some theories were sort of fun, let's be honest here. Yeah. I think it's just so sad. Also, a mistake of police, I think, was to let everyone see that video way before I think they actually found her body, or maybe even if it was after, it's still not right, because people started to speculate and tell all those different crazy stories, things that they think. I think that police shouldn't have done that, definitely. And also police made a mistake of saying that the hatch was closed, I think, something like that. So obviously it wasn't exactly very professional too, but yeah. Yeah, my theory, I told you what it was, so yeah. I think Elisa was acting irresponsible, in my opinion. She wasn't a responsible person, let's put it this way. I'm not sure if it is connected to her mental health, but she definitely wasn't responsible, and I mean, I suppose it is somehow related. Well, for me it's difficult to judge since, I mean, you can't judge how someone thinks, especially being depressed, I suppose, so it's very difficult. Honestly, the fact that people were actually using the water from the tank just scares me and makes me not happy, let's put it this way. It actually makes me very, I'm not sure how to explain. In general, I think show is great to watch. The story is very sad, it just gets to you, After watching it, it makes you think very differently. Though I don't like how people made such a show from it too. And police were not careful and let that happen, in my opinion. But actually I think that police, they would know better, so I think it's not right to to spread all this information, like maybe they're covering, maybe this, maybe that. I mean, honestly, my opinion is that no one actually had motive. First of all, it's not like money, probably, right? Also, they didn't have found any they didn't find any marks on her body. Also, she wasn't raped, I think, so I'm certain, actually. I mean, they said that, I suppose. So no marks, no this, meaning like, what could it be, right? Why? But yeah, my theory is, why? I suppose someone could be, but now we know that it's all, we can just put it aside, all those theories, because it's not true. What happened to her was very sad accident due to her mental health, I think. Honestly, I think people just should be more attentive and try to see those signs, warning signs sometimes. Some people, they require help. I'm not saying she wouldn't live normal life, she would probably. She seemed to be such a bright person, this Elisa, or used to be, actually. I mean, she was. Just very sad. So, well, TV series is good, and on my rating from 1 to 10 I would give it rather 8 stars out of 10. It totally deserves it. Let me know what you think. Maybe you have some sort of questions regarding my opinion furthermore, let me know. I'll be glad to answer. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, give this video some thumbs ups, and I'll see you soon.